What does a civil engineer do? Civil engineers are highly trained professionals who plan public works project. So sila yung nagpaplano, sila yung gumagawa ng mga public works projects such as mga bridges, highways, or yung mga buildings na pinapagawa sa kanila. Tapos, most work daw in private sectors, good, pero mas maganda o mas better pa rin sa government. Una sa lahat, mas maraming opportunity, maraming projects. Civil engineers, sila yung pumupunta sa mga project sites para i-monitor yung constructions. Pero, sa bawat company, naghahanap ng specific profession ng isang civil engineering. Kasi, alam naman natin, ang civil engineering ay may mga specialized na course tulad ng geotechnical engineering, structural engineering, saka transportation engineering. Ngayon, ang bawat company naghahanap ng surveyor bago mag-build ng isang project. Sinusukat muna yung lupa bago mag-build. Ngayon, kapag ako ay civil engineer tapos geotechnical engineer pa ako, pwede ako magsukat ng lupa. Pero kung hindi ako tapos ng geotechnical engineering, hindi ako pwede magsukat ng lupa. So first, can we survive studying civil engineering? Makakasurvive ba tayo sa course natin ng civil engineering? Hindi natin masabi pa na makakasurvive tayo, pero kung oo ang sagot, maraming proseso. Proseso naglalaan ng oras, puyat, pagod, pero may saya. Hindi lang basta-basta maging isang civil engineer. Sabi ko nga, dumadaan sa maraming proseso na pag-aaral. So, ang picture na to, nagre-represent siya na kung gusto mong maging isang civil engineer, hindi mo basta-basta makukuha lang. Dapat madaanan mo lahat ng tao na to. So, sabihin, dapat marami ka pang malalaman sa ibang tao, hindi lang sa sarili mong kaalaman. Dapat marunong ka makisama sa ibang tao, syempre. Hindi lang sa sarili lang natin. So, nakikita naman natin na kailangan natin mag-entry test bago tayo pumasok sa first year to fourth year sa civil engineering. Once na nakagraduate, then pwede na tayo mag-take ng board exam. Then kapag nakapasa, yun na yung reality natin as civil engineer. Pero ang ni-represent lang dito na bago mo makuha yung pangarap mo, may ka pa dapat daanan. The topic for today is the practice of civil engineering. So, bakit ba kailangan natin i-practice yung civil engineering sa trabaho? As a student, ang ine-enhance mo dito, yung pag gumawa ka ng isang bagay, isang buildings, dapat, ang mindset natin is good quality. Tulad ng matibay na materials, hindi tinitipid sa materials. Pangatlo, dapat marunong kang makinig sa ibang tao, sa co-workers mo, or yung mga suggestion. Dapat marunong ka tumanggap. So, yun yung kailangan natin i-practice, yung pagiging quality, para ma-build natin yung isang project na good quality. Civil engineering aim a quality project. So, ang i-discuss ko dito, ang pagiging quality o bakit ba kailangan ng quality bilang isang civil engineer. Hindi lang sa sarili, kundi sa trabaho o sa mga kausap na co-workers or kliyente. Civil engineering is aim a quality project. So first, what is the quality all about? Quality is about satisfactorily meeting both the expectation of the client or employer, the requirements of the project. Having good quality is yung masatisfied yung client and employer mo. Kasi, di ba, bago ka mag-build ng isang bahay, maraming mga request yan. Dapat i-accept mo yun. Then, kapag in-accept mo yun, mag-build ka ng material na good quality. The expectations of the client or employer. The requirements of the project. As a student na nag-aaral sa engineering, dapat ang mindset natin, dapat good quality na, or sinasabi natin, dapat may brand na. Kasi kapag sinabi natin good quality, mas tumatagal, Pero pag sinabi natin low quality, hindi tumatagal. Tapos, mas marami pang maintenance. Minsan nga, doon na lumalabas ng corrupt tong engineer na to kasi bakit tinipid tong materials na to. Pero ito yung nire-require na project na to, ganitong size na bakal, pero bakit nung actual na ganitong maliliit na bakal na yung nilagay? Bakit tinipid? Yan yung tanong na dapat talagang kapag nire-require ng isang project, dapat marunong ka din na sumang-ayon or tumanggap ng requirements nila. Ano ang mga step para matutunan natin gumawa ng isang project na may quality? So, yung quality project may requirements din or it requires professional dedications, appropriate authority, adequate time for investigation, fair compensation, planning and innovation, effort and responsibility. Professional dedication. So, yung professional dedication, nakapaloob dun yung mindset natin na loyal tayo sa ginagawa natin, hindi tayong tatanggap ng mga solicit or lagay ng mga ibang engineer sa atin para gumawa ng hindi maganda. Pag sinabi natin appropriate authority, kapag gumawa ng isang civil engineer ng project, dapat tama ka sa batas or kaya sinasabi natin is initiation of disciplinary process in connection of violation to be reported. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ka dapat nagva-violate kapag gumawa ka ng isang project. Fair compensation. So, halimbawa, may sarili ng construction firm, dapat fair lang din yung bibigay kong bayad na salary. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano yung nakalagay na sa kontrata, yun din ibibigay ko na salary sa kanya. Walang labis, walang kulang. Adequate time for investigation. So, dapat marami daw tayong time para sa investigation ng isang project. So, hindi dapat may namadali. Dapat kapag gumawa tayo ng isang project or design, dapat manageable. Planning and innovation. So, magkakaroon ng good quality ang isang bagay kung nagplano tayo ng kakaiba or new. Kasi ang innovation, parang kapag nag-innovate ka ng isang bagay, dapat ang requirements nun, akma ba to? Akma ba sa materials na ilalagay ko? Or innovate ka lang dahil gusto mo lang na bago. Dapat i-akma din natin sa kagustuhan ng kalayante or swak sa materials na gagamitin natin. Effort and responsibility. Yung dalawa na to, dapat naka-mindset na rin bilang isang civil engineer. Kasi, kapag gawa ka ng isang bagay, titingnan mo muna kung error ba siya or okay. Kasi mag-e-effort ka ng time eh. Hindi lang dahil nagmamadali ka, hindi lang dahil ayaw mo na, parang tinatamad ka. Kaya kapag nag-build ka ng ibig sabihin walang error. Hindi mo minadali at talagang pinag-effort mo yun eh. Nag-give ka ng energy sa ginagawa mo. And minsan, as civil engineer, responsibility mo na gawin isang bagay na good material or good quality. It cannot be achieved by only effort at the beginning or end of a project. These effort are 3 C's: conscious, continuous, and consistent through all the phases of project. Conscious. O sa mismong site na marami kang kasama dun eh. So kapag pag sinabi niya na ganito dapat, ganitong measurement ng materials ang kailangan natin. Pero kung hindi ka alert sa ginagawa mo, i-accept mo yun, which is kahit ka mo mali yung sinasabi ng coworkers mo, i-accept mo kasi hindi mo din alam mo, hindi ka aware sa ginagawa mo ng trabaho. Continuous. Kapag mayroon ka natanggap na error or problems sa trabaho, dapat ipagpatuloy mo lang. Tapos, maghanap ka ng ibang way or solution para ma-resolve yung error or yung problem. Dapat hindi natin iniiwan yung trabaho natin. Dapat, kung nandun ka lang sa site na yon, mag-focus ka lang sa site na yon. Hindi yung, kapag di mo nagustuhan yung site na yon, pupunta ka sa another site. So, it also results from team effort.
Yung team effort, yun yung pinakamahalaga sa isang project. Kasi hindi mo magagawa ang isang project sa sarili mo lang. Kailangan mo din ng suggestion ng iba, yung pros or cons, yung tulong ng iba, at dapat marunong ka din ma-accept ng cons na galing sa iba. Which is kung ito naman is makakatulong sa project. This development is predicted on the basis that civil engineering services are accomplished in a manner meeting standard care of profession of civil engineering. Ma-develop ang mga services natin bilang isang civil engineer kapag nagpakita tayo ng 6 requires na sinabi ko para magkaroon isang quality yung project. Kasi dito, ma-develop daw yung services natin in a manner meeting standard care of profession of civil engineering. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang sa sarili natin ang dapat hindi lang ma-accomplish ang self-accomplish natin, kundi sa ibang tao rin, like sa mga clients, sa project, at sa mga coworkers. So, once na-develop natin yung services natin or practices natin bilang isang civil engineer, ang advantage na mamimit natin is magustuhan ng client or may trust sa'yo yung client. Pangalawa, magugustuhan ng employer yung gawa mo. Tapos, pangatlo, may tiwala yung mga coworkers sa'yo. Open up sila about sa kanilang suggestions. Yun. Kasi bilang civil engineer, o lalo sa paggawa ng isang project, dapat may tiwala lang sa sarili, hindi lang tiwala sa sarili, kundi tiwala din sa iba. Pasabi ng tao na maganda tong building na to, paano masabi ng mismong client mo, maganda ang pagkagawa mo? Ano ba yung unang reflect niya? Sino yung unang nag-reflect yan? Siyempre yung civil engineer, yung gumawa. So, ibig sabihin, once na nagandahan yung ng client, yung project mo, ibig sabihin, maganda yung services na binigay mo.
2.1 Engineer's Professional Responsibility.
The standard of practice is for civil engineers to be given responsibility for studying, designing, conceiving, observing structure, and assisting in the programming for operating and maintaining engineering works. Other services that are unforeseen initially may be required of the civil engineering during the evolution of a project.
So, natakal natin kanina na practice of civil engineering. So, ngayon naman, itatakal naman natin yung engineer's professional responsibility. Kung ano ba yung responsibility ng engineer sa mga practices na inaral natin kanina. So, una diyan, studying, conceiving, designing, observing structure, and assisting in the programming for operating and maintaining engineering works. So, ang sinasabi dito, yung roles ng civil engineer na pinapractice pa rin kapag once na gumawa sila ng isang project or isang infrastructures. So, first, syempre, once na meron na silang project, inaaral nila to. Pangalawa, conceiving or sinasabing tinutukoy nila yung mga materials. Conceive, tinutukoy nila yung mga dapat nilang possible na problems or ma-encounter na error sa isang building. So, designing, dapat ang civil engineer alam yung design para alam i-apply yung mga materials or bricks or steel sa isang design. Pag sinabing observing structures, ino-observe pa rin ng civil engineer kung yung ginawa nila na structures like buildings. Once ba nagkaroon ng earthquake, is guguho ba to or magkakaroon ng collapse? Yun yung ino-observe, yung strength of materials. Other services that unforeseen initially may be required of the civil engineer during the evolution of a project. So, from time to time, civil engineering services nag-evolve yan. So, ibig sabihin, meron pa rin services na hindi pa rin na-discovered. Kaya nga, once na pumunta ka isang site, parang doon mo pa lang madidiscover. Kaya marami pa rin mga services na hindi pa rin na-predict na requirements din sa kanila. The health and safety, well-being, and comfort of the public in using a facility and the ultimate facility cost all depend on the considerable extent on how well members of the project team fulfill their professional and contractual responsibilities. Ang civil engineering, sila yung nagbibigay ng safety, well-being, comfort, at health using facility na ginawa nila sa tao. Ngayon daw, depende na nga daw sa civil engineering or civil engineer or sa project team kung mapufulfill din ba yung professional nila o yung contractual responsibilities. O sinasabi nila na kung mapufulfill din ba yung professional dedication nila na magko-corrupt ba sila sa project na to, kung lahat ng requirements sa kontrata sinunod ba. The civil engineer therefore has obligation as trustee to the public interest, as well as faithful to the private interest or clients. Successfully fulfilling these responsibilities require a candor, mutual trust, and effective communication and understanding between the civil engineer and the client. Civil engineer therefore has obligation as trustee to the public interest as well as faithful to the private interest. So, pag sinabi natin public interest, ito yung rightness of public policy or sinasabi natin public reason. Ito yung once nagpag-gumawa tayo ng isang bagay, dapat na-involve dun yung public policy or nag-involve tayo dun. Pero pag sinabi natin private interest of clients, only clients lang, self-interested ng clients. So, public interest, yun yung do not involve the self-interest sa mga trabaho. Like, sa construction firm, mostly, ang public policies sa mga government, sa mga DPWH. Pero yung private interest, yun yung self-interested ng clients. Self-demand ng mismong clients. Ito yung mismong private interest minsan madalas matatagpuan mo sa private firm. Kasi sa private firm, less corruption sila Pero sa mismong public interest ng government, maraming corruption doon. Kasi, minsan, ang clients is 800,000 ibabayad. Ngayon, dahil nasa kontrata nga nila, maraming mga VAT or maraming mga tax na kailangan iawas doon, which is, nagkakaroon talaga ng corruption. So, yung 800,000 na binayad sa'yo ng mismong client mo, hindi mo buong-buo na magagamit sa mismong project. Hindi katulad ng private interest of clients, hindi masyang less, ibig sabihin, kung mayroon mang corruption doon, minimal lang. Tapos, ang sa private firm kasi, self-interested ng clients. Ibig sabihin, demand ng clients yung susundin mo. So, pag sinabi kang self-interested, walang public policies na katulad ng mga government policies. Kasi ito, sinasabing anonymous, meron silang sariling pero mas priority pa rin yung demand ng kliyente or team ng clients. Lastly, para maging successful yung responsibilities ng civil engineer sa client, dapat magkaroon daw ng candor, mutual trust. Ito yung effective way to comfort your client. So, as civil engineer, may candor, mutual trust ako o relationship sa client ko. Kasi ang candor, ibig sabihin, the quality of being open and honest sa mga expressions. So, ibig sabihin, once na dapat na kausap ko yung client, may quality akong candor, mutual relationship. Para mas effectiveness yung sinasabi ko sa client at ma-comfort yung client sa mga suggestion ko. 4 ways a civil engineer can be established in his or her project to be implemented. Civil engineers shall conduct themselves in a highly professional manner and serve as faithful trustees or agents for of their client or employers. Civil engineers are therefore bound by a fundamental canons of ethics contained in this manual. Care and protection of the environment is paramount in a civil engineer's work engagement. Civil engineer must always strive to maintain the highest standard of ethical professional practice in their dealing with the client, employers, employees, competitors, and the community. Civil engineers shall conduct themselves in a highly professional manner and serve as faithful trustees or agents of their client or employers. So, ang sinasabi dito na once nagkaroon ng contact between civil engineers and clients, si civil engineers meron siyang professional manner, which is kapag kausap ni client si civil engineer, self-quality na masabi na professional itong kausap. Tapos, normally, sa civil engineers, kapag kausap talaga nila ang client, nagsaserve sila ng candor relationship para ma-express ng client yung gusto niyang suggestion at mag-open up. Tapos, si civil engineers is makapagbigay siya ng magandang suggestions or smooth conversation sa kanilang dalawa para magkaroon ng magandang good quality yung project na ipapagawa ni client. Kasi, si client ang magde-demand, civil engineers ang gagawa. Civil engineers are therefore bound by the fundamental canons of ethics contained in this manual. So, ibig sabihin, yung fundamental canons of ethics, ina-apply talaga ng mga civil engineers yan. So, like, engineer uphold and advance the integrity, honor, and dignity of the engineering professions. So, ibig sabihin nun, dapat, kapag once na naging engineer ka, dapat may integrity at dignity ka. So, halimbawa, kung may coworkers ka na gustong i-corrupt yung budget ng mismong company, huwag ka tatanggap o huwag ka tatanggap ng lagay. Kasi isipin natin yung integrity at yung dignity natin bilang isang engineer. So, yun yung isang example. Care and protection of the environment is paramount in civil engineers' work engagement. So, care and protection of the environment daw yung pinaka-mahalaga sa civil engineers' work engagement. Kasi hindi lang dapat tayo magbibigay ng isang bagay dahil gusto lang natin, dahil doon tayo sisikat o gusto ng kliyente. Dapat isipin daw o mag-investigate din tayo kung yung pagpapatayuan ba natin is ma-apekto ba sa environment. Second, once na nag-umpisa tayo sa construction or paggawa ng infrastructures, dapat pumili tayo ng materials or method na makakapag-less production of waste of materials. Kasi yung waste of materials, nagkakause siya ng air pollution or water pollution. Kahit alam natin na mayroong government regulation na to protect the biodiversity of our local ecologies, hindi pa rin yung sapat para hanggang sa alam or hanggang sa knowledge lang natin. Dapat gawin lang din natin. So, kasi in the end of our project, ang aim natin is yung highest quality, di ba? Kasi yung highest quality, mas least environment impact at most efficient talaga sa mga environmental effects. Civil engineer must always strive to maintain the highest standard of ethical professional practice in their dealing with the client, employers, employees, competitors, and the community. So, civil engineers, dapat daw ma-maintain nila yung ethical professional practice o yung pagiging quality sa sarili nila, yung self-quality nila with the clients, employers, competitors, and the community. Kasi yun yung parang first impression ng mga tao na sa paligid niya, yung quality ng gawa, ng sarili, yung paano pag-communicate sa ibang tao, pag-accept or pag-suggest or pag-ask ng suggestions.
Hi everyone, this is Shailene Rivera, and I'll be discussing multi-faceted relationship of engineers with the clients. So let's begin. So let us define multi-faceted relationship. It is a person who has many different talents in all kinds of fields and subject areas, while a relationship means a close connection between two people. A relationship of engineer is considered multifaceted kasi we have relationship with many people such as the public, clients, employers, employees, and the brother engineers. Yung multifaceted kasi can mean different things based on how it is used in sentence. It means a relationship with many different elements or perspective. The elements natin dito or perspective natin dito ay yung the clients, the publics, employees, employers, and also the brother engineers.
So for client civil engineer relationship, many engineering works are conceived, designed, and constructed through the efforts of civil engineers employed in governmental agencies or industries. So bakit nga ba importante ang client relationship at engineer relationship? The success of any human endeavor, when we say endeavor, it means pagsisikap in Tagalog. It depends on the quality of the relationship between those involved. To achieve such a relationship, it takes time and effort. Take more than clear and regular communication. So what are the benefits of this good working relationship? It allows an engineer to demonstrate their credibility, professionalism, and other non-technical qualities. So to further discuss the relationship of client and engineer or civil engineer, I attach here a picture of sample service contract for reference only. So it includes the terms and conditions. So we have here the services, time/terms of services, service charge, contractors to represent the company, confidentiality. The agreement can be writing or in the form of writing or verbal. Client kasi, it is a person or organization using the services of a professional like engineer and lawyer. For example, a client would be a company hiring an engineering firm. For another situation, we have, for example, a customer and a seller. So, si customer, bumili siya ng laptop kay seller. Yung laptop na yan ay may terms and condition apply. So, for example, we have 7 days replacement of the product. We have the warranty. And we also have the installment payment. Kung kailan at ilang buwan dapat itong bayaran. Just like the relationship of client and engineer, meron silang agreement about the payment and the services. So, kasi yung customer, mostly, siya yung term na ginagamit with buying goods. While yung client kasi, it is a term more on purchasing services. Obligations of the civil engineer. Job description ng civil engineer ay sila yung mga responsable sa paggawa, sa pag-improve, sa pag-maintain, at sa pagpoprotect ng ating environment. Kasi ang engineer ay kilala sa paggawa ng bridges, tunnels, railroads, dams, and power plant. So, sabi sa number 1, the civil engineer shall perform scope of the services as stated in Section 2. Ang sabi sa Section 2, yung mga civil daw, dapat shall perform services only in the area of their competence. So, yung competence kasi, ito yung kakayahan mo to perform or execute the job. Pag na-perform mo o nagawa mo, or nakapag-comply ka sa required tasks, you can say that you are competent. Diba, as we go along this engineering, we don't make things more complicated. Instead, we make things a lot simpler. Paano mo masasabi na competent engineer ka? Competencies ng civil engineers are ability to work on a team. You work as one. You work as a whole. You don't work individual. Effectively addressing client. kaya mo makipag-usap sa client, kaya mong i-present yung mga proposal ng project, and also innovative things. Dapat, when there's a problem, you can always find an alternative solution. It includes knowledge, skills, and abilities. So for number 2, the civil engineer shall exercise reasonable skill, care, and diligence in the performance of his obligation. So let's say, for example, a diligent engineer always stays late or having an overtime to meet the projects on deadline. Number 3, the civil engineer shall act independently and as required by the contract, perform with the necessary skills and professional judgment. When required to certify and decide or exercise decision between the client and the third party with whom the client has a contract. So as civil engineers, we shall stand alone depending with our skills and decision in relevant to the project. In providing our judgment naman, dapat we should look in every perspective to be fair and avoid bias. Third party means contracts are agreements that involve a person who isn't a party to a contract but is involved with the transaction. Meaning yung mga third party sa contracts, sila yung mga they are not the one principals and may lesser interest sila. Example natin ng third party life insurance company. Third party din yung tenants, funders, and future purchases of their development. Number 4, the civil engineer is authorized to act as the client's faithful agent when required but only as implied in Section 2 or implied in the contract for the project. So, yung section number 2, na-discuss na natin siya in the previous slide. I'll give an example. For example, si client may pinapagawa sa site or project. As a person in charge, you should act on behalf of the other person. So, meaning, dapat ikaw yung pinaka-trustees ni client. Ikaw yung nag-report, ikaw yung nagbibigay ng update and progress. Number 5. When aware of any matters which will change or has changed the scope of the services, civil engineers should raise public awareness of the value of the civil engineering and the infrastructure discussed. Civil engineers dapat ay always updated sa current situations or current events na nangyayari sa ating society to provide innovative ways of building and to adopt modern changes and see opportunities with it. Number 6. For specified strategies services, the civil engineer shall not initiate or proceed with any subsequent stage of the services without the approval of the client. So, si civil engineer at si client situation. Si civil engineer, nakapag-prepare na ng construction, nakapag-pour na ng foundation. Susunod na step is rough framing, rough plumbing, installation, complete drywall. Dapat, every step or next stage, dapat hihingin ni engineer ang approval or go signal ni client. With that, well-informed si client sa nagiging progress ng project. It is a good strategy to ask for approval so no one can blame in the future and this will not lead to bigger problems in the future. So for number 7, when required, the civil engineer shall direct and cooperate with other professionals and integrate their work when applicable into that being undertaken by the civil but shall not be professionally liable for their work. So, pag kinikailangan, inire-required si civil engineering na makisama o makikooperate kila architect, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, at safety engineer. Architect and civil engineer work side by side with each other. They are both involved in the preparation and creation of structures. But when the time na magkaroon ng problem, kunwari regarding sa electrical wirings, civil engineer is not liable professionally when it is out of his specialization or job. Number 8. The civil engineer may recommend specialist suppliers and or contracts to design and execute certain parts of the work. So, sabi dito, as civil engineers, dapat obligation din natin na meron tayong strong connection outside. Sila yung mga suppliers and contractors. Contractors, sila yung person na pumapakyaw na magawain. Sila yung nagbibigay ng construction worker, tapos laborer. Yung supplier naman, ito yung business is to supply a service or commodity kung saan dapat mura at matibay ang materials. Yun ang mga nire-refer natin sa ating client. As civil engineers, we know what's best for the project. We promote economic price and reliable materials to the client. For number 9, we have the civil engineer shall notify the client of any interest the civil engineer has which may significantly conflict with the interest of the client under their contract. So, in the previous slide, diniscuss naman natin yung contract na may terms and condition yan. Dapat ipaalam or maging honest tayo kay client if merong possible na magiging conflict with the interest natin na hindi nakalagay or nakasaad sa kontrata na unang napag-usapan na. Pwedeng yung mga pinasok mo na laborer or skilled ay relatives mo. Pwedeng maging sanhi yun ng problema. Kasi may tendency na hindi tayo maging objective and truthful sa mga report and statement natin kay client just to protect our people. So let's start. We have here the obligation of the clients. Kanina diniscuss natin yung obligation ng mga civil engineer towards the client. Ngayon naman, yung obligation naman ng client. As you can remember, meron agreement si client and si civil engineer before the project. Ito ay for mutual consideration. So, let's read number 1. The client shall pay the civil engineer for his services. The amount of fees is determined in their agreement. It is very common that we need or we have to pay the civil engineer based on his services. Clients may request discount but not that much. Depende sa client ang agreement ng bayad or porsyento ng isang civil engineer. Merong salary grade ang civil engineer dito sa Pilipinas na 25,238 per month. It is mostly in the Manila area or Makati. But it depends on your experiences and position in the company. The client shall provide a reasonable time. All information required by the civil engineer in the performance of his services and decision in writing on all matters, client writing. So it said here that client should give the engineer a sufficient time or enough time to prepare and take action or do their duty that does not result delay in the project. Engineers should have control and limits about their employees' privacy. For instance, client A will pay 7 million for a 2-story house. Engineer will take care of his people regarding in the salary, if it's minimum or provincial rate. Client has a limited access regarding to employees' privacy. So, meron tayo ditong the client shall as soon practicable makes arrangement to enable civil engineer to enter the site and inspect facility needed in the performance of his services. So here's the idea. Si client is still the boss. For example, si client ay pupunta sa site. Anytime may access siya or pwede siyang magpunta sa site para mag-inspect or i-check yung quality ng materials na ginagawa ni engineer, pwede siyang mag-suggest based on sa mapagkakasundaan nila ni engineer. Next to it, we have the client shall arrange the provision or for the provision of services from other professionals. So, obligation ni client na mag-refer or mag-provide ng other services from other professionals. Like, for example, may pinsan si client na engineer and i-refer niya sa'yo na ito yung mga kasama mong electrical engineer na kakilala ni client na pwede mo ka-coordinate or katulong dito sa project. Lastly, when the civil engineer is required to administer the work of other professional or third parties who are directly contracted by the client, or when the civil engineer is required to act as engineer to the contract. So, I'll give a situations. For instances, si client may pinsan electrical engineer. Ngayon, nagkaroon ng problema regarding dun sa project. Pwede mo i-administer or kausapin ng mabuti si electrical engineer na pinsan ni client regarding or concerning with the problem you encounter. After all, si civil engineer at client ang magkausap sa agreement or contracts. So, just in case na magkaroon ng problema sa site, pwede niyang directly kausapin si electrical engineer or yung other third parties. Eventually, when aware of any matter will change or has changed the scope of the civil engineer services, the client shall notify in writing within 7 days the civil engineer containing. If there will be changes in the plan, dapat ma-inform ni client si civil engineer within the span of 7 days. It is mainly because civil engineers plan ahead of time, and of course, maraming kausap sa civil engineer like contractors and suppliers for the project. So if there will be minimal changes, dapat i-inform agad ni client si civil engineer. In addition, dapat si civil engineer prepared or aware sa pagkakataon na pwedeng magbago ang plano sa loob ng 7 days or change of plans or backup plans. That's it for the clients, and thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Kenchan Caballo. I'm gonna report about the multifaceted relationship of engineers with the public. So, kapag sinabi natin public, sila yung mga nakakarami, mga membro ng ating society. As an engineer, sobrang delicate ng relationship natin sa kanila dahil nakasalalay sa atin ang mga kaligtasan nila. Sabi nga sa may Canon 1, engineers shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public and shall strive to comply with the principles of sustainable development in the performance of their professional duties. Ibig sabihin, tayo yung may responsibilidad sa kung ano yung mangyayari sa kanila. Now, ano-ano ba yung mga responsibilidad natin na ito? Una muna, basahin natin itong tanong na ito. All of these are priorities of engineers for the public except A. Dynamics of nature over the values of humanity. B. Issues of human rights over technology implementation and exploitation. C. Public welfare over private interests. And D. Safety and security over functionality and profitability. So, kung titignan nyo mabuti, makikita na ninyo yung sagot. Pero para mas malinawan tayo kung bakit yun yung sagot, malalaman nyo ito after ng discussion nito. Now, ito ang mga hinighlight ko na responsibilidad ng mga civil engineers. Una, human safety. Pangalawa, environment and sustainability, at pangatlo, pro bono. I-discuss ko isa-isa mamaya ang mga yan. For now, bakit ba responsibilities ang pinag-uusapan ko imbes na relationship nila sa public? Ganito kasi yan. Ang engineering, nakafocus nito sa macroethics, meaning large scale ito. Hindi lang ito ethics para sa isa-isang tao, pangkalahatan. Noon kasi, karamihan sa mga engineers, nasa mga business firms sila nagtatrabaho dahil syempre, primary goal nila is yung profit. Imbes na kung ano may tutulong nila sa komunidad, bali sa ibang goal na yon. As the times goes on, nagbago ito at nagkaroon ng movement na tinatawag na Corporate Social Responsibility or CSR. Kapag sinabing CSR, ibig sabihin nun, kailangan maging accountable ng company para sa mga stakeholders, customers, suppliers, employees, and kanilang mga investors. Kapag sinabi nating stakeholders, sinutukoy nito yung mga community stakeholders. Sila yung mga residents, neighborhood leaders, small business owners, tapos yung iba pa. Sila yung public. Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon na ng idea na dapat pagkaroon na ng responsibilidad ng bawat tao na involved sa isang project. Halimbawa nito yung sa sustainability, include na din dito yung human rights, tapos yung mga environmental issues. Now, paano magkakaroon ng public trust ng isang engineer? Siyempre, may kita yan sa work output niya, especially sa pag-consider niya sa safety ng public. Kailangan isaalang-alang mo yung mga taong gagamit sa itatayo mo. Huwag mo silang iisipin mo isang monolith o hadlang sa project na ginagawa mo, kundi isipin mo sila na isa sa mga kailangan mong gawing factors para sa gagawin mo. Sa health naman, para ba nakaka-apekto ang mga engineers sa health of the public around sa pinagtatayuan nila? Dapat, lagi isaalang-alang ang kalusugan ng mga tao sa paligid ng worksite nila. Baka naman kasi may mga tumatagas na pala na chemical mula sa site ninyo. And iyon na yung pagsisimulaan ng mga contamination tapos epidemia around sa village na yon. Next naman, is yung safety. Ang construction, ito sa pinaka-delikadong trabaho kung walang bahala mo yung safety standards. If you fail to do this, always accept na magkakaroon ng aksidente dyan. For example, mabagsakan ng falling debris sa mga napapadaan lang, which may ika-count pa sa iyon as your mistake kasi hindi mo sinunod yung standards. Next is yung welfare o yung kapakanan ng public. Kapag nagpe-perform ka ng isang project, make sure na hindi ka nakaka-impose sa welfare ng mga residents na yon. Yung sa may welfare na yon, ito yung tumutukoy sa well-being nila, sa pagiging masaya nila, sa kalusugan nila, sa kayamanan nila, tapos yung pagiging feeling secure nila. So, sa may next slide, papanood ko sa inyo bakit napakahalaga ng safety na pinapatabat ng mga engineers para sa mga public.
Safety influences everything that we do as academics. It appears in the journal articles that we write, the presentations that we give, and ultimately the technical transfer of our research findings.
Safety is paramount. Safety trumps.
Students in my lab.
Additionally, may responsibility din tayo sa environment and sustainability ayon sa may Canon 1. Kapag sinabi ba nating public, tumutukoy lang sa tao yon? Indirectly, connected din yan sa environment. Kasi, di ba ito yung tinitira natin? Meaning, ang preservation ng mga engineers for the environment ay isang indirect relationship ng engineers towards the public dahil isa itong action ng self-preservation for human life. Ito namang pro bono. Ito yung idea na bilang mga professionals, kailangan nating tumulong sa mga individual na walang kakayahan na mag-avail ng service na inaalok ng mga engineering. Either magbibigay ka ng discount o kaya naman ibabase mo yung pay sa kakayahan nila o kaya naman yung ilibre na kasi kung wala talaga. Example, meron kang kakilala na gusto sana magpatulong sa iyo as an engineer. Kaso, hindi siya ganun kayaman para i-hire ka since sakto lang yung budget niya para sa pagpapatayo. Siyempre, as a professional, it's up to you kung gusto mo siya tulungan ng libre. Kahit nga lang juice, di ba? Kahit juice lang, pamerienda, pwede na kasi tropa-tropa naman. Isa pang mas professional na example, maraming, di ba, merong maraming tao sa isang liblib na lugar. Mas nahihirapan silang makapunta sa lungsod kasi wala silang madaanan sa ilog. Kailangan pa nilang umikot ng malayo para lang makapunta sa lungsod. As an engineer, pwede ka mag-donate ng sarili mong funds pwede mong gamitin yung sarili mong funds para tulungan silang magkaroon ng bridge. Ikaw magtatayo ng bridge doon, i-donate mo sa kanila para matulungan mo sila. Finally, meron ding itinalagang ethical principles ang engineering profession for the Association of German Engineers na kung sakaling magkaroon ng conflict during your work against sa mga public. First, values of humanity over the dynamics of nature. Next is issues of human rights over technology implementation and exploitation. Third is the public welfare over private interests. And lastly, safety and security over functionality and profitability. So, pinapakita lang dito is alin yung mas pahalagaan mo in case na magkaroon ng conflict. Alin yung mas uunahin mo. Alin yung mas matimbang. Sa may unang example, sa may una tapos pangalawa, mas pinapahalagaan dito yung humanity, tapos yung human rights, kaysa sa mga technology, tapos yung sa environment nito. Sa may 3 and 4, public welfare over private interest, tapos yung safety and security over functionality and profitability. Dapat mas pangunahin mo yung public over sa mga sarili pang interest mo, tapos yung pagkakaroon ng profit, tapos yung functionality nito kasi mas mahalaga pa rin yung buhay ng tao kaysa naman sa mga tinatayo mong mga building. So that's all for me.
So my report will be all about multi-phased relationship of engineers with the employer. So ito po ang mga possible na employer ng civil engineer. So civil engineers can be employed by private or public construction firms. Example po nito ay ang mga professional consulting firms, government agencies, educational institutions, construction firms, and manufacturing and commercial entities. So next, civil engineering services. Ito po yung mga pwede nating i-offer sa mga employer. So design, consultation, and advice. If nag-hire po ang isang professional consulting firm, opinions of probable construction costs, mainly para po sa government agencies na nagbabudget para sa government projects. Next po, assistance in securing construction bids and in awarding contracts para po sa mga construction firms na nagbibidding. Next po, preparation of operation and maintenance manuals para po sa mga factories, commercial entities na nag-maintain ng mga factories nila o kaya commercial buildings. Structural remediation or rehabilitation. Pwede rin po ito sa government agencies na nagre-rehabilitate ng mga buildings or historical structures. Assistance and startup, assessment of capacity and operation of facilities. So, ito po para sa commercial entities dahil pwede po ito yung nag-aayos ng factories or yung mga commercial buildings. So, mag-meet po yung ino-offer nating mga engineers dun sa hinahanap na employer. napaka-importante po ng strong relationship sa employer at employees. So, when employees have a strong, healthy relationship with their employers, the entire company benefits. So, ito po yung mga pwedeng benefits ng company. So, retain loyal employees. Then, sa pagtrato po ng mga employer, kung maganda po ang pagtrato nila sa employees, hindi po aalis yung mga magagaling na employees na meron sila. Then next po, fewer workplace conflicts. Kung maganda nga po ang trato ng mga employers sa employees, wala pong magiging problema sa relationship nila and mabubus pa po yung moral and mawawalan po ng toxicity dun sa paggawa sa workplace. Then next po, increase productivity. Kung wala pong problema is mas may oras po na makatapos pa ng mga trabaho sa field o sa construction site. And next po, communication. Communication po, kung maganda po ang relationship ng employer at employee, then napaka-smooth po ng communication. Yung communication po ng paggawa is truly smooth po. And then next po, if ang communication po is maganda, magkakaroon po ng feedback na kung ano po pwedeng i-improve dun sa paggawa and sa workplace. The importance of communication. So, effective communication in engineering is critical to ensuring that all project participants are on the same page. So, dapat ang employer at employee ay nasa same page para maging smooth ang transaction at paggawa ng project. Sa mga reports at sa mga designs ay magiging smooth yung paggawa. So the employees, they also rely project parameters and deadlines to their reports while providing updates to their managers and clients. Moreover, regular communication builds trust and makes it easier for all team members to do their jobs well. So, sa paggawa ng report ng employee, sa pag-relay niya ng tama ng reports, is nagkakaroon ng trust yung employer sa kanya. So, relationship between the manager and engineer. So, dito sa topic na to, malalaman natin yung relationship ng manager at engineer or employer at engineer sa paggawa, role nila sa construction site, at decision making ayon dun sa kanilang mga trabaho. And then, unahin natin yung sa engineer. So, functions of engineers. The primary function of engineers within an organization is to use their technical knowledge and training to create products and processes that are of value to the organization and customers. So, ito yung iilan dun sa mga functions ng engineer. So, manufacturing and construction, system analysis, testing, at development at research. So, ang manufacturing is yung sa materials at paggawa sa construction site. System is yung sa mga large scale na projects na ginagamitan ng technical knowledge. So, analysis para ito sa mga materials na gagamitin ayon dun sa standard na nakaset. So, testing, para analysis, dito matitest yung durability ng mga materials na gagamitin sa project. And then, development and research. So, ito yung innovation para sa paggawa at pag-improve pa nung work experience ng isang engineer. So, sa function naman tayo ng manager o employer. So, ang manager, siya yung nagdadirects, plans, and coordinates activities as they supervise the work and outputs of the employees and their projects. So, their function is to direct the activities of the organization, including the activities of engineers. Managers are primarily concerned with the organization's present and future well-being. So, well-being as in yung mostly measured in economic term, but includes public image and employee morale. So, mainly, yung mga manager, sila yung nag-aayos kung paano ang magiging daloy ng pera at yung daloy ng proseso ng paggawa ng isang projects with collaboration with the employees or engineers. Relationship between manager and engineer. Having a good and healthy relationship between managers and engineers is very important to the success of a project. The planning, decision-making, including the mutual respect, must be well coordinated and fairly given to each parties. So, paano nga ba na nakakapagdesisyon ang isang manager at engineer? Ito ay based dun sa PED o Proper Engineering Decision at PMD na Proper Manager Decision. Dito natin malalaman kung paano nagko-collaborate ang isang engineer at manager. So, ito yung mga decision making na tinatawag sa engineering at sa manager. So, PED, Proper Engineering Decision, syempre ito yung nagre-require ng technical expertise, engineering expertise, at yung mga napag-aralan sa civil engineer. Kasi ang civil engineering or engineering is napaka-technical na trabaho kaya nagre-require to ng mga expertise na yon. So, on the other side, ang PMD naman, ito yung mga trabaho ng manager na with collaboration to sa gagawin ng engineer o employees na minsan nagre-require ng cost o resources para magawa yung project. So, manager din yung nagde-decide ng schedules o nagmamanage ng schedules kung kailan at nagpaplano din sila kung paano gagawin ng isang project.
Hello guys, I'm Jason Robic Morales, and in this part of the presentation, I will be discussing the multifaceted relationship of a civil engineer with his brother engineers, and how they work together, and why is it necessary to have a healthy relationship with other professionals. Why do you think civil engineers must have healthy relationship with other fields of civil engineering? Upon reviewing the Canon 2 of Code of Ethics, this will give us idea on how civil engineer works with other field of engineering or other persons or other people. First, to avoid conflicts. Second, civil engineers should focus on their field of expertise. Third, to work diligently with other engineers. Fourth and last, to be able to view others' perspective. For the explanation, di ba nga, sa Canon 2 ng Code of Ethics natin, sinasabi na civil engineers shall perform services only in area of their competence. Dito pa lang may apply na agad natin yung reason natin, which is yung first reason natin, which is to avoid conflicts. Example nga nito, if ever man na structural engineering yung major ko, I should focus only on my field. Hindi ko dapat gawin yung mga trabaho ng ibang field kasi hindi ako sanay doon at hindi ko naman yun naaral. Same with the second statement. Second statement. Field of expertise. Doon pa lang, syempre, dapat I study for this field kaya dapat i-utilize ko every skills ko para makapag-comply sa field of my expertise para sa ginagawang project. Ganon. Third, I should be true not only to myself but also to my subordinates. This way, my fellow engineers inside the project, along with me, could work as one. Last, kung alam ko na dito, kung ako, sa field na to, expert ako rito, dito pa lang ma-identify ko na agad kung ano yung kakayahan ko.
malalaman ko na agad kung ano yung pagkukulang na magkakaroon ako in case man na magkaroon ako ng chance na makita ko kung paano magtrabaho yung ibang kasamahan ko. These are the following fields commonly involved with civil engineering. First one is the mechanical engineering. Second, electrical engineering. Third, environmental engineering. Actually, there are a bunch of other fields na involved sa field natin every time nagkakaroon ng project. But these three are the most common. Civil engineers and mechanical engineers chiefly differ from each other because of what each respective position builds. A civil engineer helps design and create buildings, infrastructures, or other structural projects. Mechanical engineers, on the other hand, helps create machines and mechanical devices for individual or small groups. But in some aspects, they match. For example, both fields requires math skills. Calculus, trigonometry, these are the aspects that often used in project design and troubleshooting the projects. Strong problem solvings are also essential because they can determine efficient courses of action when concepts don't manifest according to the project. So, both mechanical and civil engineers, how do they basically work together? It's so simple. Mechanical engineers need the help of a civil engineer to identify and study the main plan of the projects. Sa ganitong paraan, may i-apply ni mechanical engineer yung mga bagay na hindi niya ma-accomplish sa isang project. Tapos, yung civil engineer naman will do all the structural processes, and yung mechanical engineer naman yung mag-manage na lahat ng mechanical processes or anything na gumagalaw such as elevator, escalators, or other remote controlled devices na merong mechanisms. Civil and electrical engineers are the problem-solving professionals who create designs depending on the technical specification of a given project. Civil engineers can work on bridges, roads, buildings, and tunnels, while electrical engineers work on anything that generates electricity or requires an electrical power supply. Their work may involve the design of power generating plant, a navigation system of airplanes, or a hybrid engines for automobiles. Their respective assignments or job can work with civil engineering work simultaneously. So, for the explanation of this part, almost the same with mechanical engineers, relationship with electrical engineers involves cooperation din with civil engineers. Di ba nga, we were taught in our drawing subjects na we were taught about the electrical plants sa isang project. Yung dito naka-layout lahat ng circuits, mga wires, ganon. Although we weren't able to learn it thoroughly, at least nagka-idea tayo kung ano yun. This certain part of the project ay electrical engineering yung usually nag-conduct or gumagawa nito after reviewing all the drafts ng isang architectural or any architect, structural engineer na mag-review ng plans or gagawa. Sila naman yung mag-aaral kung paano magkakaroon ng flow of electricity ang isang building. Hindi lang sa mga building and infrastructure sila pwede mag-work kasi may mga other fields din na needed sila just like how civil engineers need the electrical engineers to work with them simultaneously to finish the project. Civil engineers can be found in industry, consulting firms, and governments. This is one of the few areas of engineering in which the engineer often deals directly with the public and public agencies in every phase of major infrastructure projects. Environmental engineers focus on projects that involve sustainable design for the control and protection of the environment and its resources. Kung napapansin nyo sa dalawang statement na to, merong part na magka-connect sila. Kung sa environmental engineering involves sa sustainable design, control, the protection of environment. Civil engineers naman, nagdi-deal sila ng projects directly with the public and public agencies in the infrastructural projects. This is somehow connected kasi yung mga sustainable designs na to is usually for the benefits of the public. What are those examples? There are examples na magiging beneficiaries nito is yung mga tao, public, which is yung recycling plant, dams and such, yung mga ganon, recycling centers. Dito naman sa environmental engineer or environmental engineering, ang main concern nila dito is yung pagsunod nila sa principles to improve and maintain the environment, protect human health, protect nature's beneficial ecosystem, improve environmental related enhancement for the quality of human life. We are all aware naman sa green buildings, di ba? Ito yung mga places na usually significant yung ecosystem kahit na maraming advanced or modern structure sa paligid nito. Kasi kaya na propose ng project na to, napag-aralan muna to ng isang environmental engineer bago ma-accomplish. Some call these projects as green building or green projects to indicate that this building has the feature to maintain the ambience or the greeniness of the environment alongside with the infrastructure. So, paano sila nagkakaroon ng relationship ng dalawa? Civil engineer will propose the project and environmental engineer will study if this is feasible to the area. Usually, kapag ganito, nagkakaroon muna sila ng sightseeing to study whether pwede ba talaga yung isang project na yun. So, those are the other fields that help civil engineering during working hours or during projects. Mechanical engineers help civil engineering in terms of mechanical equipments or materials that has mechanisms. Electrical engineers helps with the plans for flow of electricity to suffice the needs of the project. Environmental engineers helps to identify if the projects are feasible depending on the proposed location. Siyempre, hindi lang dapat civil engineering ang nagbe-benefit sa relationship na to. Kasi dito, they work vice versa. The other fields helps engineer and we engineers helps the other fields to make their project or to make their proposals or to make our projects into fruition. That is why relationship with other fields is essential. This will allow the project to process easily and rightfully without having any problems. But how about relationship between civil engineers to his fellow civil engineers? What do you think is the reason why we should have or why we have to build healthy relationship with other civil engineers inside or outside the project or company?
Multifaceted relationship of engineers with employees. Can a person be multifaceted? Yes, if someone has many features or perspective to consider, then it can be described as multifaceted. So, multifaceted means all around. Yung kaya mong mag-adapt, kaya mong matuto ng ibang bagay, hindi ka nag-i-stick kung saan ka lang magaling. Isa pang halimbawa kung paano tayo makisama sa iba't ibang tao. For example, sa kliyente mo, sa kapwa mo engineers, sa employers and employees. So, ganun ang multifaceted. Parang ikaw sa iba't ibang aspekto ng buhay. All of these are productive engineer-employee relationship except gratitude and appreciation, good communication, follow through, then having a good time. Alin nga ba dito yung hindi naman kasali? So, maliwanag naman siguro na yung having a good time kasi without this, magiging okay naman yung relationship ng isang engineer and employee. Kasi ang kailangan lang naman talaga is yung gratitude and appreciation, may maayos kayong communication, then sumusunod kayo sa mga utos. Hindi kailangan lagi kayong lumalabas, ganyan, or nagpa-party para lang maging maayos yung relationship niyo. So, ayun. Responsibilities. So, first, kailangan tama magpasweldo yung mga engineer sa mga empleyado nila kasi karapatan ng isang empleyado na sumweldo ng tama na naayon sa trabaho nila. Pangalawa, kailangan yung mga information na hawak ng mga engineers ay hindi kumalat o lumabas without consent ng mga employee, syempre. Labag yun sa batas. Then last, kailangan yung mga engineers marunong din makinig sa mga empleyado. Kung merong mga suggestions, ganun, na pwede naman makatulong, na pwede nilang i-apply, so why not? Dapat marunong rin sila makinig. Professional rights. So meron tayong 3. Una dito, bawat engineer ay may karapatang itama yung pagkakamali ng mga empleyado nila. Kung meron silang nakikitang mali, pwede nilang ibigay opinion nila. Pangalawa, karapatan nilang tumanggi sa mga tao, sa mga projects, ganyan. And pangatlo, karapatan nilang makilala sa trabaho nila and sa mga nagawa nilang magaganda. Employee rights. Una nga dito is yung privacy. So, lahat ng isinumite mong information sa company, kailangan hindi makalabas kasi karapatan mo yun. Pangalawa, equal opportunity, non-discrimination. Kailangan pantay ang trato sa inyo, hindi porke pangit ka, maitim ka, mahirap ka, then yung kasamahan mo is mayaman, maputi. Ikaw babastusin, tapos sa kabila, maayos yung trato. Dapat hindi ganun. Pangatlo, equal opportunity, affirmative action. Dito naman pumapasok yung kasi nga, example, ikaw bata pa, then nag-apply ka, then may nag-apply na mas ahead sa'yo. Pinili nila yung mas ahead kasi para sa kanila mas marami yung alam. Tapos ikaw, bata ka pa nga, ganun. Ganun yun. Yung picture na ito is nagsisimbolize na lahat tayo may iba't ibang pinagdadaanan, lahat tayo may kanya-kanyang priority sa buhay. Kailangan lang is respetuhin natin yung isa't isa, lalo na sa trabaho kasi hindi natin alam yung pinagdadaanan ng isa. Iba naman yun sa pinagdadaanan natin. So, kailangan lahat ng mga empleyado, ganun, ay merong work-life balance na tinatawag.